Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Armeli, and this video will give you an idea of my research areas and ongoing projects. My main area of interest deals with the interplay between stress and coping and substance use, mainly in young adults, ranging from college to post-college years, which we commonly refer to as the maturing out period, transition period, which is a very important developmental period in substance use in terms of most people tend to reduce their alcohol consumption as they progress through their 20s for a variety of reasons, but not everybody does. And we look at some of the risk factors for continued problematic use. A lot of my work deals with what's known as the motivational model of substance use, based on a lot of Lynn Cooper's work, her motivational model, and specifically her scales assessing various reasons for drinking, motives for drinking. In general, this framework suggests that obviously, the more you engage in substance use, again, I mainly focused on alcohol use, but we have looked at some other substances too. And this framework does apply to multiple different types of substances. But it's not just the amount you use, but the reasons for drinking have important implications. Research has consistently shown that drinking for coping reasons, drinking when you're depressed, when you're anxious, etc., deal with ongoing problems to distract yourself, that is a more problematic reason for drinking or motivational strategy than drinking to enhance social situations or drinking to enhance positive emotions. So in this area of research, a lot of my work with my colleagues has dealt with various methodological approaches for trying to understand these processes. Mainly what we've been doing is using what's known as micro-longitudinal research designs to try to model these dynamic processes. A micro-longitudinal design is simply a design where you assess people rapidly, maybe daily or multiple times a day in real life situations to assess relevant factors. Again, if I'm interested in stress or negative affect related drinking or coping related drinking, I want to assess these processes as they unfold in daily life. What was your mood like today? How did you deal with it? Did you drink? And then trying to model these contingencies at this level of analysis. Again, whether you're using sort of internet, assessing people through the internet surveys or through smartphones that sample people multiple times a day, it's a lot more, the strategy is a lot more available to researchers now, especially with technology that's available. As far as ongoing projects, the big project that I've been focusing on over the last 10 years is sort of a hybrid micro-longitudinal, long-term longitudinal study of college student drinkers who we first assess obviously when they're in college, and then we assess them 5 years later post-college, sort of in their early to mid 20s, mostly mid 20s. And now we're assessing them again in their late 20s, some in their early 30s, to try to examine not only these micro processes, again, how does affective states and coping strategies and other daily experiences, how do they relate to the same day substance use, motivational strategies associated with substance use? We assess whether or not they're drinking for coping reasons, drinking for social reasons, and then does that have implications for next day's well-being? We assess a variety of different outcomes, drinking related problems that might occur. So, and obviously we also have a variety of person factors that we look at, personality factors, coping, trait-like coping strategies that we assess across these waves to try to see if they are related to these micro processes. So this data set is obviously a very rich data set. We have a lot of data here, and our graduate students do have access to this data set and some previous data sets using similar strategies, mostly examining college student drinking. Okay, just to give you an idea of some of the articles that if you want to do a little more research, You can examine some of these more recent publications. Actually, this first one, Shank et al., this is 2020. This one is not so much a micro-longitudinal design, it's more of a traditional longitudinal design. But all of these two get at looking at alcohol use and related constructs at a daily level of analysis. Samantha Weltz's article, by the way, the highlighted in yellow, these are students. These are students who have published their research with me in the recent years. Samantha Weltz's article, she didn't actually look at substance use. She was more interested in early life trauma and daily stress reactivity. So I'm interested in things other than just daily substance use in general, or daily processes associated with substance use. This would give you a good idea of some of the non-substance substance use related topics that I'm interested in. And this is another alcohol focused paper. Again, if you just go into PsycInfo and search on my name, you'll see a longer list of research articles that you can look at. My current students, well, I have more than just Rachel Adams and Martin Floerman right now. They will be making videos to talk about their dissertation research that they're doing with me. Give you another idea of the different kinds of projects that I supervise. Okay, great. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm sure they're providing that information.
So my name is Martin Floerman, and I'm a fourth-year student in Dr. Armeli's lab. My research has primarily focused on drinking motives. I presented a poster at the Eastern Psychological Association that examined the association between drinking to cope and romantic relationship stress. For my dissertation, I will be using a micro-longitudinal design to examine the interactive effects of negative and positive urgency and affect regulation motives in predicting alcohol-related problems. The purpose of my dissertation is to help identify individuals who might be more vulnerable to rash behavior when intoxicated in order to prevent these behaviors from occurring and discover new areas of intervention that could be beneficial for these individuals.
Hi, my name is Rachel Adams, and I'm a fourth-year student in Dr. Armeli's lab. During my time here, I've worked on projects exploring the role of drinking motivation and life stressors, and the aspects potentially related to changes in an individual's motivation to use alcohol. I've also co-authored a manuscript examining whether stress generation was specific or generalizable to particular personality traits, as well as symptoms of various other disorders. And currently, my dissertation uses a micro-longitudinal design to examine the role of personality traits on alcohol-related aggression.